Hello, my fellow fanfiction readers. It's I, Dark Symphony 777, with another fanfiction review. As always, a link to the story will be in the description. Please like, subscribe, and please comment on the channel below whether your opinions on the story or an idea for a future story you want me to read or review. So the story I'm doing this time is the continuation of... I'm on the wrong link. Oops. Is the continuation of the Batman and Benson series. Batman and Benson 3 by Mick Ferguson. And oh boy, I have a lot of stuff to say about this. First thing I want to mention, this story kind of completely jumped the shark here. I'm just going to lay that right on the line. It jumped the shark. You'll see what I mean as the review goes on. So, as always, let's start with the plot. So, the first thing we got to figure out is the fact the plot is kind of separated so much. I mean, I have to talk about each part in sections. That's how fractured the plot is, which brings me to my first problem. Is an overcomplicated plot. I mean, we have the Two-Face story, the main storyline, and underneath that is the Catwoman. Then underneath that is the Batman and Batgirl little scenarios. Then we have the Justice League. Then we have Starro, who shows up completely fuck out of nowhere, and I was like, who the fuck is Starro? Seriously, who the fuck is Starro? I never even heard of this guy. And then I looked him up and said it's a gigantic alien starfish. Like, was somebody on something? It's like, let's make a gigantic mind-controlling alien. Okay, let's make him a starfish. Wait, what? Okay. Let's name him Starro. Oh, you're full of puns today. Yeah, I'm very punny. So we have to go through each one, and this is what I don't like about stories like this, is when you put too many plot points and try and connect them together all in the same story, unless you're going with a gigantic story, something like Lord of the Rings, which I think has... Lord of the Rings has like 400,000. 118,000 word story is not going to cut it for all these plot points, for everything. And, I don't know, it's like, I mean, yeah, there's two stories before this, but none of them really foreshadow anything here aside from the Justice League and just saying, oh, we're gonna visit the Grayson. Okay, you can easily move the Batgirl thing to another story. You can easily move the Catwoman to another story. I mean, even in the last story, I mentioned you should have stretched out the Two-Face thing. It's like, okay, you did the Two-Face thing here. Well, I don't know. So let's get started on each individual plot. First off, let's start with the two weakest ones, the Justice League plot and the Starro plot. Oh boy, completely out of nowhere. There's only one chapter mentioning the Justice League thing, and then then nothing happens until the end of the story where Starro shows up fuck out of nowhere and says, "Oh yeah, I make the Justice League, yeah." And so literally all the superheroes decide to team up and fight him. And they said, "Hey, we make the Justice League." That's pretty much that plot thing in a nutshell. I mean, why? There is no reason for this plot point to be here, because it was all about Two-Face and Catwoman. The Justice League thing, they should have been stretched out far long, because you had or at least you could have waited until, Robin and Batgirl kind of joined the team, or Oracle, based on the end of the story. It looks like the author's just skipping Batgirl and going straight to Oracle, just without the cripple. And I'm like, this is not really that good. I mean, yeah, all the superheroes teaming up, and then the Justice League having Spider-Man, what? Having Doctor Strange, more what? Even Iron Man, what the fuck? Makes you why are these guys here? These guys are not gonna show up at any point in any of the stories besides a little cameo starring the rest of the SVU team. Yeah, who cares? I mean, I don't want to see the Justice League. I don't want to see all these cameos. I want to see Batman and Benson. I want to see the Batman and Olivia Benson team up to kick some ass. Sorry about that. And see Law and Order-esque versions of the villains. We had a Law and Order-esque version of the Joker, of Harley Quinn, of Two-Face. Catwoman kind of stayed the same because she's Catwoman. I mean, there's no way you can really do a Law and Order version of Catwoman because she's kind of already that way in the comics. So it's like, if I was the author, just get rid of Justice League and Starro. Just cut those out. Just get rid of the last 3 chapters altogether, or at least end it on the foreshadowing of the next story, which is going to be Mr. Freeze. Thank God. I want to see how he does Mr. Freeze. Ooh. Let's get to the other 4 plots. Dang it. Okay, Catwoman and Batgirl. I actually like the report. I actually like the idea of Catwoman kind of like, well, I'm getting chased by a little girl. And the little nods to Batmite. I think they have good chemistry. I think overall it's a good plot. It's a good subplot. And it's just, I didn't like the presentation of it, mainly because of the synopsis saying that, here's the synopsis. Olivia and the Batman deal with the high price of vengeance as they take on both Two-Face and Catwoman. It makes it look like that Catwoman's going to be the main adversary alongside Two-Face. No, Catwoman plays a bit role. I would have liked it if, I don't know, if Catwoman was... those 2 words just cut out of the synopsis. That way, you can have Catwoman. That way, she's on a sudden a surprise, and one you can easily not lie to us. Because honestly, why? Batgirl kind of going the Oka route. That was a surprise at the end. Catwoman kind of saying, "Okay, I'm leaving Gotham." After taking a gigantic diamond, to the point because of the simple fact that everyone was kind of calling her a good guy. Now it's like, I gotta steal this diamond. I need to restore my honor. And like the end of the story has Catwoman like holding up the diamonds like a big thumbs up. It's like, yeah, I did this. Now stop calling me a good guy. Woo! And saying, yeah, fuck out of here. I didn't like the fact there was no resolution with that. I was like, maybe, they could have had something, maybe like a couple sentences, maybe a paragraph or 2 of just saying, okay, I'm going to take a vacation. Instead of like, she do Batsy again. Yay. But overall, I like those 2. I like the subplots. It was done well. I couldn't complain about them. Robin. Okay, Robin was actually done relatively fine. I wouldn't have to complain. I actually have nothing to complain about the last 2 arcs. Two-Face and Robin are done. I like the unique take on Two-Face, him having him trying to outsmart Batman with a 2-pronged attack. Actually kind of downplaying, but at the same time upgrade, like maximizing the whole 2 motif. I know he's called Two-Face and he has the whole theme of duality, but I think it was done relatively well. Robin having him going on the vengeance and everything. It's custom Robin stuff. I think that's actually in the comics as well, with him going after Boss Thorn and everything. As well, and finally the main idea of Two-Face. Oh, I love this part. I love the main plot of this story. If I had to kick anything that was done above average, it was this. Again, the unique take on Two-Face was nice. How he dealt with everything was nice. He constantly duping Batman in every turn, which is, when it came to Two-Face, I mean, he didn't really he really regularly doesn't do that because, Batman really kind of easily figured out Two-Face relatively fast. And, how he stopped with the whole burnt thing, saying, oh, now he's a complete monster and everything. I thought that was a nice touch. And everything. I have nothing to really say about Two-Face because it's more just a custom regular adventure plot than anything else. Nothing really unique other than him blackmailing a bunch of ex-criminals to try and become criminals again. And it's like, we don't wanna. And he's like, you are. I'm gonna kill your families. Okay. Leave our families alone, man. And of course, we also have the little character development of Bernie, which segues into the character development. Bernie, I actually really like Bernie. He's actually a nice little character. He's, he wants to give up. He's giving up crime, and he's being forced into this. And we get like his introspection over the course of the entire story. He's like, and him getting his happy ending. It's like, yeah, he got his happy ending. It's like I wanted that happy ending. The characters, Batman was great. Catwoman and Batgirl, they have nice chemistry. I think the author could easily just made a story with just them as like just a small side story overall, but I can't complain. Robin, I actually like Robin the Vindictive. And then realizing how bad people are and realizing they need to be stopped. And then there's Olivia. Whoo boy. If there's one problem I had, and one common criticism that is in Law and Order SVU, like the actual show, it's the writing basically putting Olivia Benson on this such high pedestal. She kind of has this, she's considered a canon Sue by TV trope standards. And despite the fact the story in the TV show, she has flaws to kind of mitigate that. So it's like, she's not a complete Mary Sue, it's just everyone kind of treats her that way. She treats her as this holy pariah of perfection, and she can't do no wrong. She's always in the right and everything. This story goes in and out of its way to completely undo that. Why? Because I don't know. Fuck no. I'm not the writer. Olivia joins the Justice League. What the fuck? She did not need to join the Justice League. She is considered a member of the family by the entire Batman, by Bruce Wayne and everything, and Alfred. It's like, okay, that's not that bad. And then she's considered a second daughter by Gordon. Okay, okay. And then she has. It took me until this story to realize throughout all three stories she had no flaws. She just kind of stays static. Oh, except for the decision of wanting to stay in Gotham, and even then, it's like. But it really hits home here because the author, how he wrote the first two, it kind of gives us a false dawn and gives us a steady character development of a conflicted woman. But in this story, she just stays the same. She has next to no character development, next to no growth. She just stays the same throughout the entire story, and that is like, why? And it's just, she seems like completely Suish here. Again, she has nothing bad to say about it. Even like Harvey is like, he insults Batman, he insults Bruce, he insults Rachel, and he's like, and Olivia, the dirtbag, the douchebag, the playboy, the slut, and Olivia. The only person to even, kind of insult her in any way is Lex Luthor, and that's just calling her a dyke. Which is like, in a part that's not needed. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like Olivia's character in the story. It just seems too flat. It seems too Sue-ish. It's just, please fix. The rest of the characters, they're par for the course. I have nothing to complain about them. Alex and Rachel, they're fine for what it is. Two-Face, I really liked. Again, let's see. Grammar, I believe I saw like one grammar error, and I think, I saw like one grammar error. He accidentally misnamed an character by a different character's name. I believe it was in chapter 15. I believe it's chapter 15. I can't remember. Either 14 or 15. Oops. Let me fix that one. Pacing. The pacing is fine. The imagery is fine. It's average when it comes to this part. I have nothing bad to say about it. Really, the pace. I mean, if it wasn't for the constant cuts at like the weirdest times for like to put like all these characters things in, then I would have said the pacing's like really great. But it's like we have an unnecessary cut to New York City with the other SVU crew, and then Iron Man shows up, and I think Green Dragon, I think it's Fing Fang Foom, I think that's his name, and then Hulk and the Fantastic Four is like, what the fuck are they doing here? I don't want them, because it's like Spider-Man, make an argument. They did the whole stupid joke thing. That's the most flimsy argument ever. But this one is just saying, there's more Marvel superheroes. Like throwing everything out the wall. It's like, here's a bunch of cameos that we, the readers, don't want. Well, I personally don't want the readers. I don't want them. Why the hell do I want to read all these, literally, instead of like interesting plot or interesting characters, we get a bunch of half-ass cameos. I don't want that. I'm sorry, I don't want that. And overall, I don't like this story. I think it's despite being the longest, I think it's the weakest of the three stories. Favorite part, would I recommend it, and final thoughts. Would I recommend it? No. I mean, if you're into the whole idea of the Avengers and Justice League kind of merging together, just read the last chapter. That's it. Or if you don't want to hear the whole Justice League thing and want to just skip to the end, just read the first 15 chapters, because literally 14 or 15. Yeah, the first 14 chapters, and like skip 15 to 17, or just skip 15 and 16 and just read the end of 17, because there's like no reason for 15 and 16 to be here. I would recommend it. I personally just don't like it. I can't recommend something that I don't like. Granted, some people may like the cameos, some people may like Olivia Benson because she's Olivia Benson, but I don't like how she is in this story. I liked her more in the previous two stories. The plot is, while good, it's not as good as the second one. Not to mention, the story goes out of its way to lie, saying, "Oh, Catwoman is going to be a problem." No, she's not a problem. She just shows up periodically, and that's it. She's just there for Batgirl's relief, which is stupid. The Justice League formation is half-assed done. They literally just, the authors, it felt like the author just said, "Wait, I forgot about Justice League. Add some thing," and just added Starro fuck out of nowhere. Just to get that plot point just finished, instead of, I don't know, moving it to another story. It would have been easier. Favorite part. I actually really like the interactions between Batgirl and Catwoman. They had a good dynamic. They had good chemistry with each other. I think, yeah, it's fine. I wouldn't. It's above the rest, but it's like, yeah, that's it. And final thoughts. I don't like the story. If I was the author, I'd change it. Get rid of the last 3 chapters. For one, get rid of that entirely stupid cameo by all those Marvel superheroes, because they're not needed. Get rid of Lex Luthor. I mean, he's not needed in the story. If you're gonna do the Batman thing, don't try and shove other characters' villains into Batman. I mean, yeah, it works in comics, but if you're trying to label this as a Batman story, you should be leaving it to just the Batman villains. Instead of, if you want to do Lex Luthor, if you want to do the Justice League, just change it to SVU plus X over crossovers. That way you at least cover your bases with everything, and I don't have to complain that much. So, and my other final thought is, I don't really want to continue reading this story. I mean, I don't want to continue the series, honestly, because I think how it's going, it's just going to be getting worse and worse. I mean, when the only complaints I had about the first 2 stories were relatively nitpicks, and then this story comes along and just fractures and breaks down and jumps the shark, it just makes me worried over what's going to happen next. Tell me what you think. Should I read Batman and Benson 4, 5, 6, and 7, or should I just stay at 3 and maybe go back to 4 at a different time, at a later time, because I have like a whole bunch of stories to review, and I don't know whether or not to come back or just not continue anymore. Tell me what you think in the comments. So, that's my review on Batman and Benson 3. Tell me what you think, or your own thoughts on the story. So this has been Dark Symphony 777, and